Welcome back to Season 4 of Procurement Unplugged podcast, powered by Zygus. I am Margesius' host, and today we'll be talking about the Frankenstein stack, how humans and half-baked bots break procurement. To navigate this, we have Julian Ghosh. Julian is a chief procurement strategist and has led procurement transformation initiatives across Fortune 500 companies. He brings with him a wealth of experience in procurement technology, sourcing, and supplier relationship management. Julian, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So, this whole idea of a Frankenstein stack, it's such a vivid image, right? Like a monster made up of mismatched parts.
Yeah, definitely.
And it resonates so much with what a lot of procurement teams are dealing with these days. It's kind of hodgepodge of technologies and manual processes.
It is. It's a very common scenario, unfortunately.
Is this really the norm now? I mean, are most procurement organizations stuck in this kind of tech limbo?
I'd say it's more prevalent than people would like to admit. You have all these amazing tools out there promising efficiency. But in reality, a lot of companies end up with this Frankenstein stack.
It's like everyone's trying to solve pieces of the puzzle in isolation.
Yeah.
But no one's stepping back to see the bigger picture.
Exactly. And that's where the problems start to arise. You get pockets of automation here and there, but then you've got manual approvals and human bottlenecks slowing everything down.
Yeah, I've seen that firsthand. It's like this constant firefighting mode.
It is. And the irony is this obsession with reviewing everything actually makes things less efficient.
Right. It's counterintuitive, but it's true.
It is.
You end up adding more layers of complexity instead of actually streamlining the process.
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier about layering tools over broken processes. Can you give us an example of how that happens in the real world?
Sure. Let's take invoice processing, for instance. A very common pain point for many companies.
Definitely.
Now imagine a company is struggling with slow invoice processing. Lots of errors and delays. Instead of fixing the root cause of the problem, which might be a messy approval process or poor data quality, they decide to implement an AI-powered OCR solution.
OCR, that's optical character recognition, right?
Yes, exactly. So the OCR might be fantastic at extracting data from invoices, but if the underlying workflow is still broken, if the extracted data is still going into a system with unclear approval hierarchies, or disconnected from the payment system, you're essentially automating a small part of a broken chain.
Right. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a much deeper wound.
That's a great way to put it. You might see some marginal improvements, but you're not addressing the fundamental issues that are causing the inefficiency.
So instead of getting this beautiful symphony of technology and human expertise working together, we end up with these islands of automation.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of manual rowing in between.
That's right.
And it seems like a big part of the problem is this reluctance to let go. This fear of giving up control to technology.
Absolutely. There's a natural human instinct to want to be in control, especially when it comes to something as critical as spending.
But the funny thing is, by trying to maintain that granular level of control over every little step, we often lose sight of the bigger picture.
And we actually introduce more opportunities for errors and delays.
It's like micromanaging to the point of paralysis.
Exactly.
So how do we break out of this cycle?
Well, a big part of it is shifting our mindset. We need to move away from this fear of AI and start thinking about how we can leverage its strengths to our advantage.
So instead of viewing AI as a threat to our jobs, we should see it as a partner that can help us do our jobs better.
Precisely.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, one solution is to move towards a well-integrated S2P suite.
S2P? That's source to pay, right?
Yes, source to pay. And there are great examples out there like Zygus, which can act as that central nervous system for procurement.
Okay, so instead of having all these separate point solutions, we have one platform that connects everything from sourcing to contracting to payments.
That's right.
And that eliminates a lot of those manual handoffs and data silos that cause so much friction.
It does, and it also allows for much better visibility and control, because you have all your data in one place.
You talked about orchestration earlier. Can you explain how that plays into this?
Sure. Imagine an orchestra. You have all these talented musicians, each playing their own instrument. But without a conductor, they're just making noise.
Right. It's just chaos.
It is. But with a conductor,
Yeah.
who understands the music and can guide the musicians, you get a beautiful symphony.
That's a great analogy. So in procurement, the S2P suite acts as the conductor.
It does, ensuring that all the different processes and systems are working together in harmony.
Okay, so how does that actually play out?
Well, for example, when a purchase requisition is created, the system can automatically trigger the appropriate sourcing workflows. It can seamlessly feed into contract management, with pre-approved clauses and templates, and then it flows into the procure-to-pay process for efficient invoicing and payment, all within a connected environment.
So it's like a domino effect.
Yeah, you could say that. One action triggers the next in a logical sequence, and it's all driven by predefined rules and intelligent automation.
And that eliminates the need for humans to manually shepherd information between different systems.
It does.
So in this orchestrated system, where do humans fit in?
Well, the key is to focus on the things that humans are really good at and let AI handle the things that it's good at.
So what are some of those human strengths that are essential in procurement?
Well, humans excel at strategic thinking, at building relationships, and at creative problem solving.
So things like complex supplier negotiations,
Mm-hmm.
where understanding nuances and building rapport is key.
Exactly. Or identifying opportunities for supplier-led innovation, or navigating those unforeseen disruptions that require thinking outside the box.
Right, those are areas where AI just can't replicate human intuition and experience.
That's right.
And on the flip side, AI is a master of data.
It is. It can process vast amounts of information quickly and accurately.
So tasks like processing routine purchase orders, performing compliance checks,
Yeah.
analyzing spending patterns, and providing real-time procurement intelligence, those are all perfect for AI.
They are.
And by letting AI handle those tasks, we free up our human teams to focus on the more strategic and relationship-driven aspects of procurement. And this is where a platform like Zycus really shines, because it's designed to align and optimize these tasks across the entire procurement lifecycle.
It is.
So from the initial intake of a need, the system can use AI to suggest optimal sourcing strategies based on historical data. And during contract negotiations, AI can flag potential risks and ensure compliance with legal requirements. And in the procure-to-pay process, AI can automate invoice matching and identify fraudulent transactions.
That's right. It's about building intelligence and automation into every stage of the journey.
So we're really talking about a fundamental shift here. It's not just about automating the old way of doing things. It's about rethinking the process entirely and letting AI be the driving force.
It is, and that's where the concept of AI-first execution comes in.
AI-first execution. So what does that mean?
It means that technology becomes the primary driver of efficiency and accuracy in routine procurement tasks, allowing human oversight to be more strategic and focused on exceptions and higher value activities.
So it's not about eliminating human involvement altogether. It's about shifting the focus of that involvement.
Exactly.
So instead of having a human approve every single purchase order, the AI handles it based on predefined rules.
And human intervention is only triggered if there's an anomaly or a potential issue.
That's right.
And that's where an S2P suite like Zycus provides that crucial backbone by creating that cohesive ecosystem where AI can truly flourish.
It does.
It's not just about automating individual tasks, it's about creating a connected flow of information and actions.
From the initial business need all the way through to supplier performance management, with AI providing the intelligence and automation at each touch point.
So it's less like a toolbox and more like a living, breathing network.
Yeah, a network that's constantly learning and adapting.
So if we embrace this AI-first approach, what could a procurement team of the future look like?
Well, imagine a small, highly strategic team, maybe just a few individuals,
Yeah.
effectively managing $1 billion of spend.
$1 billion with just a handful of people.
That's right.
That's incredible. It is, and it's made possible because the AI native system is handling the bulk of the transactional work, ensuring compliance monitoring risk, and providing sophisticated analytics.
So the human team is freed up to focus on those high-value activities that drive competitive advantage.
Exactly. Things like cultivating innovation with key suppliers,
Hmm.
building deeper strategic relationships, developing proactive strategies to mitigate risks.
It's about moving from a reactive, review-heavy approach to a proactive, strategically driven function.
Absolutely.
And a unified S2P platform is crucial for this because it eliminates those fragmented systems that require constant manual intervention, and it offers a single source of truth. So instead of spending all their time fighting fires, procurement leaders can actually focus on the strategic direction of the function.
And that's where the true value lies.
The orchestration provided by an S2P suite really augments human capabilities.
It does.
It's not just a set of tools. It becomes a true technology partner, handling the complexities and providing the intelligence needed for informed decision-making. So the goal is to create an intelligent, adaptable system that learns and scales with the business, allowing the human side of procurement to focus on those strategic initiatives that drive value and innovation.
That's the vision. a true partnership between human intellect and artificial intelligence, working together to elevate procurement from a transactional necessity to a strategic powerhouse.
Julian, this has been an incredibly insightful conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
It's been my pleasure.
So for our listeners, if you're recognizing this Frankenstein stack in your own organizations,
Yeah.
and you're ready to move towards a more orchestrated and intelligent approach, I encourage you to explore AI-native strategies and the power of a unified S2P suite. It's time to move beyond the patchwork fixes and embrace the future of procurement, a future where technology and human expertise work in perfect harmony to drive real strategic value.
I couldn't agree more.
Thanks again, Julie.
Thank you.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on the deep dive into the Frankenstein stack. If this conversation has sparked your curiosity, and you're wondering if this shift towards intelligent orchestration could be happening in other areas of the business, well, you're not alone. It's a question worth pondering, and perhaps the start of a much larger conversation about the future of work itself. Until next time, keep innovating, keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible in procurement. This is Mark Cusin signing off, and we'll see you on the next episode of Procurement Unplugged.